Hello, everybody, and welcome again to Living Christian Ministries. Again, if you enjoy the content that I've been producing, I invite you to like and subscribe to this channel, and I invite you to share this content with your family and friends, with those who are Protestant, with those who are non-denominational, with those who might be Jewish or non-Christian, who might be practicing the faith, who might not be practicing the faith. I invite you to share this with whoever the Lord compels you to, because this isn't a message that is solely for Catholics. This is a message that I believe is for all people. I think that can be a trouble with with our Catholic faith and just with Christianity in general, is that we can come to encounter the Lord and we can stay in that upper room, we can stay in that place of seclusion, and we can fail to come out and proclaim the gospel to the world around us. But for more of that, you'll have to wait for my book to become published. But for now, I just invite you to subscribe to the channel. The reflection I have for you today, though, is in relation to a bike ride again. I'm riding on my bike. I'm persevering for the journey, and this idea of persevering again for the journey of the bike ride, having some sense of knowing how far I've gone, and yet on this particular bike ride, I do not, because at a certain point in the bike ride, it's no longer clear how many miles I've gone. Upon getting to the next mile marker, I was able to determine there's a 5 mile drought. So for 5 miles, it's not clear to me how many miles I've actually gone. And I'm of the mentality that I'm not turning around until I know how far I've gone. So for that 5 mile drought, I'm just in this constant mind battle of this is tiring, this is boring, I'm exhausted, I want to turn around. And it's kind of like that spiritual battle where we want to give up. We want to turn around. Like I said in my last video, we want to do that easy thing. We want to do that comfortable thing. And what the Lord showed me was the perseverance of continuing forward. Again, we have some sense of how far we have gone, and that's true for our actual lives. I'm 31 years old. I have some sense of how far I've come in this life, 31 years, plus the 9 months of conception, plus however many months it's been since my birthday. That recognition, I have some sense of how far I've come, but I don't know how far I have left to go, and that's the part that connected with me in the bike ride. Do I trust that the end is near? Do I trust that the end is near? Of course, I know the end is coming of the bike ride. I know that if I keep going forward, eventually I will get to that next mile marker. Eventually, I will get there and find out that it's the 9 mile marker, and that the next challenge is 2 miles away, and I'm gonna go for that 23 mile bike ride again unintentionally. Um, yeah, I think it was unintentionally because I don't think it was my plan to go for 23 miles again. Um, on that particular bike ride, but that sense of we know it's coming, we know it's going to be there, we know we're all going to die one day, but do we trust that? Do we trust that when it comes, that there is a good that will come through it? Do we trust that when it comes, that we will be ready for it? And do we trust that it's safe and that we don't have to turn around, that we don't have to give up, that in the midst of temptation, in the midst of suffering, in the midst of whatever it is we're going through, we can turn to the Lord and persevere through the trials, to trust that no matter the difficulty, He will bring us through it. Even if we are brought into a particular sin, that through His mercy He will bring us out of that sin, and He will bring us back into His redemptive grace. He will bring us back to His redemptive love. And through His redemptive love, through His redeeming grace, He will bring us back to the altar of mercy, where we will receive in body, blood, soul, and divinity, and where He will ultimately bring us to the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven, to the glorious altar where we will receive Him, no longer here on earth, but forever in his glory in heaven? Do we believe that in this journey of life, that when we encounter the difficulties, that we can get there? And I think what we sometimes forget is that life is a journey, not an event. Again, another chapter in my book. Life is a journey, not an event, and we need patience, perseverance with patience. It takes patience in this journey of life, patience with ourselves to recognize we're on this journey. And the more we start thinking about it, the more we start thinking about how my body is sore. And like I said in my last video, that when you start losing control of the bike, the more I start having these thoughts about, oh, I'm so tired, oh, I'm so this, oh, I'm so that. The enemy starts getting in your head, and that's when you start falling away from God's mercy. That's when you start falling away from God's grace, because you're not thinking as heaven does, you're thinking as man does. So the challenge for us is to turn our hearts to God, to turn our eyes to the fount of mercy, and to persevere in that love, so that, like St. Paul, we can finish the race. And to recognize, like one of my favorite saints, Saint Bernadette, she was told in private revelation by Our Lady that her happiness, she wasn't promised happiness here on earth, but her happiness would come in heaven. And so too, we should recognize for ourselves that some of us might receive that special calling. Some of us might receive that special grace where we are to be suffering servants for the Lord. And if we are to receive that call, then we need to be attentive to it and to not complain every time we have a difficulty, but recognize the different ways that we can persevere, recognize the different ways we can finish the race, and recognize the different ways we can be patient with ourselves, so that when the good Lord calls us, we can truly say, we were faithful till the end, and we can hear those words from him, well done, my good and faithful servant. With you I am well pleased.